Is it possible to learn a craft that hasn't changed since the era of the samurai? In the West, we sharpen our knives on synthetic, factory made blocks. But deep in the mountains of Kyoto, there's a 1200-year-old secret. A rare, natural whetstone that doesn't just sharpen metal, it polishes it into a mirror, altering the molecular edge of a blade. Today, I'm leaving the tourist crowd behind to see if my clumsy hands can learn this ancient art from a master, or if I'm about to completely ruin a perfectly good Japanese blade. To find this world, we have to look outside the city grid. Most tourists stay in central Kyoto, but the soul of Japanese craftsmanship is hidden in the regional quiet. I'm boarding a train heading toward the mountains where these historic stones were originally mined centuries ago. But getting there, that is an art form in itself. Navigating the train into connections in central Kyoto feels less like a commute and more like playing a high-stake game of 3D Tetris. Unlike other cities where everything is run by one central transit loop, Kyoto is a maze of competing private railway networks, subway lines, and regional tracks that all smush together in the main hubs. If you aren't a local, it is ridiculously easy to trap yourself on the wrong platform or miss a transfer entirely. Even people born in Japan get turned around here if they don't know the specific layout. It's beautifully synchronized chaos. But one wrong turn, and instead of peaceful mountain craft workshop, you end up on an express train to a completely different prefecture. Thankfully, I managed to clear this level of transit Tetris. And as the urban noise fades into the quiet hills of Kameoka, you can instantly feel the shift in pace. This isn't the Japan of flashing neon. This is the Japan of ancient texture. But out here in the countryside, the slower pace comes with a catch. The local bus service is incredibly sparse. When I checked the timetable, I realized that if I sat around waiting for the first bus to arrive, I would completely miss the start of my workshop. So I had a choice, give up or lace up my shoes. I decided to ditch the bus stop and conquer a grueling 1-hour uphill hike into the mountains. I've stepped off the train in Chiyokawa, a valley town sitting just west of Kyoto City. Today, it's a peaceful regional escape. But for centuries, this exact valley was one of the most strategically vital and heavily guarded military secrets in all of Japan. Because this area, Kameoka, is the historic mecca of the tennen toishi, the natural Japanese whetstone. To understand why this place is special, you have to look back 250 million years. Long before humans existed, deep tectonic movements under the ocean floor compressed layers of microscopic silicates and clay, eventually thrusting them up to form the mountains right here in the Tamba Highlands. The result? Two legendary stones found almost nowhere else on Earth. Tamba Aoto, the ultimate mid-grade stone, and Awasedo, the mirror finished stone. Without these specific rocks, the icons of Japanese culture couldn't exist. The samurai katana needed these stones to achieve its terrifying, enchanting edge. The master carpenter building Kyoto's immortal wooden temples needed them to sharpen his planes. Even Japan's UNESCO-recognized culinary arts rely on them. Because a knife sharpened on a Kameoka stone doesn't just slice food. It seals the cells of the ingredients, preserving the true flavor of the harvest. For over 12 centuries, the rulers of Japan strictly controlled these mountains because whoever controlled the stone controlled the sharpness of the nation's blades. Today, synthetic factory-made stones have taken over the world. And almost all the ancient mines here have gone silent. But hidden right here at the top of the hill, inside this unassuming block building, the ancient lineage is still alive. Let's go inside, meet the master, and see if I can bring a piece of this 1200-year-old history back to life.
おはようございます。佐藤です。すいません、遅れちゃって。よろしくお願いします。バスがなくて、歩いてきました川から。サカツになりました。包丁は今日はお持ちですか？今日ないので。
I've arrived at the gallery and it feels less like a workshop and more like a sacred archive. These aren't ordinary rocks. These are natural tennen toishi, rare wet stones mined from specific mountain strata around Kyoto. While some of these specific regional quarries date back to the 12th century, the history of using Kyoto's natural stones to shape Japanese craftsmanship stretches back over 1200 years to the very birth of the ancient capital of Heian-kyo. The master explains to me that in Japanese craft, the sharpener is just as important as the blacksmith. Take Japanese cuisine washoku. When a master chef slices a piece of raw tuna for sashimi, they never saw back and forth. They pull the blade through the fish in a single, fluid motion. If the knife is dull, it bruises the fish, crushing the microscopic cell walls and causing the savory juices, the umami, to bleed out onto the cutting board. But a blade polished on a Kameoka stone cleanly shears through the cells without breaking them. It seals the flavor inside, giving the fish a mirror-like sheen and a completely different texture on the tongue. You are literally tasting the sharpness of the knife. The exact same discipline governs miyadaiku, the ancient art of temple carpentry. Japanese woodworkers don't rely on sandpaper to smooth their wood. They rely entirely on the kanna, a hand plane. A blade sharpened to a microscopic perfection shapes a ribbon of cedar so flawless, thin and smooth that it becomes completely waterproof. The wood cells are cut so cleanly that water simply rolls off the surface, allowing wooden temples to stand open to the elements for 1,000 years without rotting. And as a textile lover, this philosophy hits closest to home. Think about cotton silk. A dull pair of shears will pull, fray, and stress the delicate threads of a historic weave. But a blade maintained on a fine natural whetstone glides through silk like wind through grass. Whether it is a chef knife, a carpenter's plane, or a tailor's shears, the true secret of Japanese craftsmanship isn't the hand that holds the tool. It is the stone that gives it life. And today, it's time for me to face that stone. Now, it's time to begin the experiment. If you ever visit Tennen Toishikan here in Kameoka, you're actually encouraged to bring your own personal knives from home to restore them. But since I traveled across the world out of a suitcase, I'm renting one of the standard museum knives for my trial. Honestly, I'm glad I did. It's a basic, mass-produced factory blade. The exact kind most of us have sitting in our kitchen drawers right now. It means we get to see exactly what these legendary natural stones can do for an ordinary piece of steel. The master explains that the true Japanese sharpening process isn't a single step. It's a precise 3-act ritual. You progress through 3 entirely different stones, serving a unique purpose. But before I even touch the stone, the master stops me to teach me the golden rule of the blade. Kakudo, the angle. You have to lock your wrists and maintain a perfectly consistent 15-degree angle against the rock. If your hand wobbles by even a millimeter, you ruin the edge. From there, you have to gradually shift your fingers along the blade, section by section, polishing a tiny fraction of the steel at a time until you've covered the entire length from heel to toe. With the technique locked into my muscle memory, the journey begins. First up is the arato, the coarse rough stone. Surprisingly, the masters didn't start me on a natural rock for this stage. Instead, they handed me a Jinzo Toishi, a synthetic man-made factory block. Because synthetic stones can be engineered to be incredibly aggressive, they're perfect for doing the heavy lifting. This is where you fix any deep chips and quickly reshape the geometry of the edge. It feels gritty under my fingers and the sound is sharp and loud. Once I complete the main flat part of the blade, the master shows me how to adjust.
これ私の指は包丁で怪我しますか、それともこの砥石
多分砥石で削れるだけなので、そんなに一瞬でザラッとかそういうのに指紋がなくなっていきます。
あ、指紋がなくなってる。あ
I have to lift my elbow slightly and shift my pressure to follow the curve, moving smoothly from the straight edge right up into the delicate depth.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think this is
最初はこんな風に乾いてきたら、下の水でもいいし、私が出したりもするんですけど、濡らしてあげてほしいです。人造砥石はよく水を吸うので、使う前につけておいたりだとか、あとは水こまめに足してあげたりとかするのがいいと思います。
できてますか。
できてますね。
ありがとうございます。次反対ですか。触ってみたら分かるのかな。
裏面には返りが全く出てなくて、
これが私が今研いだやつです。
研いだ面です。で、そっちが今返りが出てる
お
面です。
お、なるほど。
そしたら次はこっちの今出てきた返りを全部取ってあげたいので、
はい、
反対にしていきます。
でもやっぱりめっちゃ下がってます。めっちゃ上がってます。30度になってるので。
左手は結構やりやすいっていう方いらっしゃるんですけど、やっぱり角度のキープが難しいみたいで、上がっていっちゃう方が多いので、ちょっとだけ気持ち下げるイメージでやって本当に下げちゃうと変わっちゃうので、下げるイメージでやると研ぎやすいと思います。で慣れてきたらストロークちょっとだけ長くしてあげると。
But while my arms are starting to ache from the rhythm, I look around the room and realize the real magic of this sanctuary is the community it attracts. Unlike a standard workshop where you use whatever basic stone is laid out for you, repeat visitors here get to choose from a jaw-dropping collection of hundreds of rare, historic stones. While filming, I managed to speak with one gentleman who told me he started coming to this mountaintop 4 years ago. For him, it's not just about getting access to these precious high-grade stones. It's the atmosphere. It's a space where time completely slows down and you are surrounded entirely by people who share the exact same quiet reverence for the craft.
教えていただいて、でこれダイヤモンド砥石っていう金
Before I can move on, though, there's one vital maintenance
で
step.
いただくと
The master stops me and hands me a diamond toishi, a specialized diamond plate. To make sure the surface is perfectly flat, the master draws a series of lines across the wet stone with a pencil. I then have to rub the diamond plate vigorously across the coarse surface until every single pencil mark completely disappears.
まあ人造砥石の人造のダイヤの粉末がついている金板になります。
As I wash away the gray slurry and wipe down the stone, I'm reminded of a beautiful cornerstone of Japanese philosophy. The sacred duty to leave your tools and your space even cleaner than you found them.
天草砥石
Sitting here, washing away the mess isn't just a chore.
砥石
It is an act of deep respect and gratitude toward the stone, the room, and the next person who will sit
石
here.
の種類ですか？
そうです。
It resets the stone and it resets the mind.
で荒砥でだいたい包丁の先を落としたり、包丁の形直したりして、で中砥でその荒砥でつけた傷を消してあげて、
Now it's time to move to the nakato, the medium
じゃあ
stone.
そのため
It
に
smooths out the harsh scratches left by the coarse stone and starts refining the actual cutting edge. By this point, I've already been sharpening for over an hour on these stones. My shoulders are burning. Do you think my rhythm and angles are looking any better than when I first started?
いよいよというかなんというか、ここら辺で取れるアンバーオートっていう青トっていう種類の
はい
石になります。
はい
で、今こうやって最初にこすってるんですけど、
はい
最初にこうやってダイヤモンド砥石でこすってあげることで、最初に泥を出してあげます。で、この泥を使ってこれが研磨剤の香りになる。
Right, now we reached the ground climax of the entire process. The shiageto, the superfine natural finishing stone. This is the 1200-year-old secret of Heian-kyo. This stone polishes the steel to a literal mirror reflection, flattening the microscopic burrs until the blade is seamlessly smooth. There are actually several master craftsmen who call this place home. Most of them have highly specialized, distinct skills. Rather than working in isolated pockets of Japan, they gather here to collaborate, work on their own pieces, and share the rare lineage of traditional Japanese craftsmanship under one roof. It feels like an alive, breathing ecosystem of ancient skills. Behind this entire vision is the museum's incredible director, Tanaka-san. Tanaka-san was incredibly generous to let me shoot my entire experience. But as we spoke, I realized her passion goes far deeper than just running a tourist space. She spent years working in technical development and global expansion for Japanese firms. But in 2023, completely mesmerized by natural wetstones, which she views as the ultimate origin point of all Japanese making. Because before a chef can feed you, before a carpenter can build a temple, and before a tailor can cut historic silk, someone has to understand the stone right. So she packed up her life and relocated here to Kameoka to become the director. In a modern world, it is incredibly difficult for traditional creators to survive purely on their art. So, by building this professional craft environment, she isn't just preserving deep history, she's providing a living, working space where modern creators can connect and thrive. Before the final test, my teacher takes a cloth to carefully remove the kaeriba, the microscopic metal bird that rolls over the edge during sharpening. Without clearing this away, you can't get a true clean cut. Now it's moment of truth time. I took a piece of paper, held my breath, and sliced. Oh well. My teacher did a lot better. With a single effortless flick of her wrist, she showed me what true mastery looks like. So here's the ultimate comparison. This was the factory blade before we started. And this is the result after 2 hours on the stones. What do you think? Did I do the legendary Tamba Auto justice? But my journey through Kameoka's traditional crafts didn't end at the Webstore Museum. In upcoming videos, you'll see me travel across this valley to try my hand at traditional indigo dyeing, watching fabric transform into a stunning deep blue right before my eyes. You also see me learning the highly rhythmic, intricate geometry of bamboo crafting. This entire trip has made me think so deeply about why we hold on to certain crafts and why we connect so deeply with handmade things. For my lovely Patreon family, this week's video is a relaxed, intimate chat from my studio. I share a surprising comment my 5-year-old son made about his breakfast cutleries, reflecting on how big businesses and modern marketing push us to crave the brand new over things that actually work. We also talk about how we can fight back and why my passion for upcycling vintage kimono fabrics into everyday pieces isn't just a creative hobby. It's actually my own quiet personal act of resistance against this throwaway culture. If you're interested, head to the link in the description. Thank you so much for joining today's adventure. I'll see you in the next video. またね